Hey man, how's it going, bro?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. How's Florida?
Rainy today.
Rainy
Rainy
and
today.
rainy and warmer.
Well, it's 80, it's 75 here, so it's not too bad.
A lot warmer.
Yeah. Well, warm is a relative concept, so I guess
Dude,
you're up north then, right?
dude, Mike, that is so true, by the way.
Well, as one of my friends once told me, it's
Hey,
talking
Kurt.
about
Mike.
relativity. He said, I'm from West Virginia where it's all relative.
It is. Like,
Gentlemen, how are you?
yeah. Do you know
Yeah.
why they call you know why they call it a toothbrush, right?
It's only one tooth.
It's correct. It was in West Virginia. Hey, George,
Yes.
I have a big ask when everybody gets on. If
No.
you'll allow me, I want to do a survey.
Survey
Survey
says.
Richard Dawson was a naughty old dude. That's all I'm saying.
He was. He built that show in a heartbeat today.
Mike Desiato, I owe you a call. I'll call you a little later
Yeah.
this morning.
No worries. Thank you
Cool.
so much. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, man. I'm psyched to do that series.
Okay.
Then we had the celebrity Tim Rhodey.
Tim Rhodey.
Sun never sets in the land of cool, Tim Rhodey. Chad Connery, man. Love your posts. How are you?
Great, my friend. Good to see you, George.
Good to see you. Betsy.
Hello.
Betsy and I had yet another wonderful conversation yesterday.
Yep, it was awesome.
Yeah. So, and Kurt, how are you, man?
Good. How you doing?
Show of hands, who's going to Nashville?
Is
All
that
right.
CEPA
Consider
conference?
and
Nice to
live
see you
there.
conference. Yeah.
Hey, Chad, when do you get in?
I'm here now.
Oh, you're in Nashville now?
Yeah, you really can't help
Oh,
it.
you live there? You dog.
Yeah, man. Chad's there now. Chad, you been out turkey hunting?
No, not yet.
Okay.
They're all over the place, though.
Yeah, except where I was just sitting. Lower hand. There we go. All right, guys. What's on everyone's mind? Guys and gals. When I say guys, Betsy, I apologize.
Oh, I
I
love
mean it in
it.
the Yankee sense.
No,
Okay, y'all.
I-
More inclusive.
I
go ahead.
consider it a compliment to be one of the guys.
I'll go ahead and
Wouldn't be
jump.
so
You ready?
sure, Betsy.
What'd you say, George?
I wouldn't be so sure. It's not a compliment. Not in this.
You don't know this group that well to
Yeah. TBD.
throw your hat in so readily.
Yes.
Hey,
Oh God. Well, tips here. All right. So here's my question. You ready? One of the things that Exit Planning Institute does, which I don't know the validity or not, but they do a survey about once a year,
Right.
and they survey about how people's business is doing and everything like that. So having just done taxes, this might be the most accurate time of the year to ask this question. But like, what are people making doing Growth Drive? Right. So I made $200,000 last year, and I fished 100 days during the week. So basically, I took a minimum of 3.5 months off. Right.
Good for you. Good for you.
So so I'll just throw it out there. That's how much I made. I'm going to make 300,000 to 400,000 doing the same schedule this coming year. What's everybody else making doing Growth Drive as a full-time consultant?
Okay.
Mike, that's the doozy.
And this is board member of Growth Drive advisory board, which means I have no power. I'm just a really excellent nag.
It's interesting, Mike. I mean, it's a simple question, right? But unfortunately, I might have to complicate it, right? So, oftentimes, I do the Clarity One, freebie, so to speak, right? With an owner, and it doesn't necessarily lead to a deep dive analysis or anything more than that in terms of Growth Drive. But then all of a sudden, they say to me, "Oh, well, Mike, you're a CPA, and I'm not getting good tax advice, or I don't. Can you help me with this?" So it serves as an entree into other things that I do. So it's kind of my marketing funnel, if you will. It kind of gets me into
Sure.
contact with the person, and then I use it it can either go all the way through the whole growth process, or it can lead into ancillary planning, like continuity planning, strategic tax planning, because that comes up a lot, right? So so I look at it in the totality as an advisor. So I would say that I think I did last year about, I'm going to say about 120.
Okay. 120K growth drive. Thank you.
Right.
Excellent.
So, so a 10x ROI.
We're doing this, the SEPA, how much money did you make last year, Eric, question on Growth Drive, just trying to establish baselines, like how much did we make Growth Drive? I did 200K last year, just paid the taxes.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm meeting with my guy at 6 o'clock tonight.
I didn't pay 200K in taxes.
I wish you had, dude. I wish you had.
I wish I could.
Right.
All right. So anybody else? And the reason I'm asking this, just so you guys know, is Growth Drive only goes as far as our community members' ability to create income.
Hey, Rick.
Right? I mean, at the end of the day, the software, the methodology, the training, all of this stuff, it only really grows if people like us make real money. And the only way that I know to inspire that is to tell the truth about what I've done, right? So you guys know my numbers, you know how much I worked. And so I'm just throwing it out there.
And you have some people who are new to the community. So
Yeah, I'm new, so I'm still trying to figure out the whole system and how to launch it effectively. So,
and we're here for you, man.
Well, at least George is.
Well, Mike, as you know, I mean, it's so embedded in it's so integrated now into what we do with our practice redesign. I'd say last year, let's say 40 grand. And this year we're probably on track for over 100. And we're just getting ramped up with the new model.
Cool.
So, it's a little difficult to pin down because of, again, how deeply integrated it is, but yeah,
I think you're going to crush that number too. Yeah.
Thanks. I agree.
As a conservative. Yeah.
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 That's
Anybody else want to play?
Yeah, I didn't do any specifics of engagements last year, just on full funnel. This year, actually, our entire focus.
So translating for everyone, that was 0.
Yes. Thank you. Mike.
Where are you that it's nighttime?
It's been a talk.
Yeah, I know where you're at.
You look like Neo.
But I'm heading to the light.
I know exactly where you are. So let me ask you a different question. Thanks everybody that was willing to share. I appreciate it. If anybody else wants to, feel free, not a requirement, obviously. So let me ask you a different question. For your monthly Growth Drive spend, for your subscription, what should we as a community consider an acceptable ROI? How much of an X in revenue should your participation in Growth Drive get you?
By the way, we averaged there 140. So
say that again, George.
that was an average of 140.
Oh, you're talking about
Yeah.
you're talking about the responses that were given here.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So that's 14 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? I mean, Eric, you've been in this game longer than I have.
Yeah, and apologize for not answering. I had 7 engagements last year. 7 clients that I used it with. Some of those went to level 2 and SLT. So call it 10 or 12 engagements out of it, and probably average. So probably 120 to 140. I'm right in that range.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done the math that way because, again, to Mike's comment, mine is even more ingrained. Like I'm using it I'm doing a Clarity 1, and then I do a lot of follow-on work that comes out of that, right? So the number's actually higher, but that's the direct engagement for the items that come out of clarity.
Yeah, and I think Eric, I think your point is exactly what I was hoping for, and thank you, Mike and Tip, because like everything I do, I consider to be growth drive work because it's embedded in my system, and I don't have outside stuff that I do. But that will change going forward, and I'm thinking more like I'm thinking of Kurt, I'm thinking of Rick, I'm thinking of Betsy, Tim. I'm thinking of Chad. I think is already successful. He lives in Nashville. I mean, what more could you ask for, right? But when you look at it, like
True hillbilly.
yeah, that's right. But like, what's a good ROI? It's 10x. Like, I mean, like, does that mean that the initial goal should be to get to 100K that you can tie to growth drive? I don't know. I thought it was important. Mr. Johnson.
One of the thoughts I've had on this is if our focus is to increase the client's ROI, if I go in there and I can show them that I've given them $1 million, why would I be afraid to bill $50,000 if that client has now made $1 million because of my work?
Why not $1 million? Or why not
Okay.
100,000? I mean,
Okay, why not? So that's my whole question.
or 900,000. Give them 100.
Yeah. I mean, if we're saying 14 times, that seems like nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a hard.
I mean, but this whole tax, and if you go back to the way the tax business is changing, that whole model is now based on billing ROI. If I can show you a tax strategy that I'm going to save you $100,000,
That's right.
I have no problem billing you $10,000. And you'd be crazy to say, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
Rick,
Yeah, I know
you
people.
could not have made a better comment. You could not have made a better comment.
So I know people that do that. Rick, they do R&D tax studies, cost segregation studies, things of that nature, and they can pretty much quantify the return right away. This is what you're going to save right off the bat.
Yeah.
And they charge a percentage of it.
It aligns interests, right? It aligns interests. I'm going to find you the most legal. I'm going to help you pay the lowest amount legally required.
So where's that fall apart with growth drive? Because it does. Where's it fall apart? Right? I'm talking from a
Because
sales
I think, Mike, I think the difference between the tax stuff and growth drive is that you can pretty much quantify with pretty much complete accuracy, almost complete accuracy, what the savings will be. And therefore, someone can say, okay, if I'm going to save 100 grand, I'll pay you 20 grand, 30 grand for that. But quantifying and trying to make the growth drive ROI, resonate. It's dependent on a lot of things. It's not for sure.
it's the implementation of
it's the implementation piece that may fall apart. So it's kind of fuzzy. It's not exact that you're not necessarily going to get that savings, right? And a lot of things can happen to make that blow up. Whereas with these tax things, I've seen them all. They quantify the savings. Here it is, and they deliver that savings because they're going to prepare the returns and do it, and it's real. So
adjusted my.
It's hard to do. There's a lot of uncertainty around the savings in the growth drive world than there is in something like tax.
And that's why I restructured my entire process that I sell growth drive.
I want to get into that because we're going to get into that in Nashville, Mike. Can I just interject for 1 sec?
Yeah.
First of all, guys, the average of what was shared on this call is $135,000 a year of direct revenue attributable to growth drive. Thank you, by the way. That is fantastic. I couldn't be happier. I want you to double it, and I'm working hard to help you do that.
So what you're saying,
if we had some of our most prolific people here, Carl and Steve Cummings, etc., this number would,
if Tip was doing a better job, the number would be better.
Tim would pull the lead out. Hey, I want to make a point based on what Mike just said, and I'm
Yeah,
so
and I want to
excited
follow
about
you up,
this.
George. Yeah.
And I did not. Mike doesn't really know the extent of what I'm about to say, and I did not. Just for the record, Mike, did I ask you to ask this question or get into this conversation?
You never ask me.
George,
Yeah,
George,
you do it
George,
anyhow.
George,
So, guys,
stop the big reveal, please.
yeah. So, guys, we are coding right now an API that will pull financial data from. We're going to start with QuickBooks Online, which is going to address, let's call it more than half, 60 to 70% of the clients in our financial demographic, right? 2.5 to 100 million. We'll get into NetSuite, et cetera. Once we have the basic, so we're going to pull that data. Now imagine, not only do we predict the ROI based on deal data, right? From all of, each of these growth driving objectives. And you will be able to predict and track the impact, of increasing strategic capacity on gross revenue, net income, margin, cash. Okay. And some others. And of course, we'll do a few ratios to, because some of you number geeks know how powerful that is. But imagine if in more or less real time, your dashboard is telling your client the impact of increasing strategic capacity on financial performance. And we know what the data looks like behind the scenes, but we have snapshots. Those of you who are updating the revenue numbers, please do, right? That is how you demonstrate your value. But the QBO API is coming. By the way, we'll also do a scan a doc, upload it to Claire, and she'll take care of you.
So this is great news for people that aren't Eric. So like Eric, time at Rockwell, right? Comptroller, CPA. Eric, it's so much easier for you to get these numbers than it is for me.
Does this make sense? This will be as
Yeah.
easy as sending by the way, this that is designed, you will send your client a link. You will tell them why they should do this. And you will tell them that this is how you will demonstrate. And if they're not getting the results, what we'll end up building over time is we'll build better predictors and better, there's going to be lag, right? So we'll have a much more crisp understanding of lag. We'll be able to say by creating an effective senior leadership team, we anticipate that in 180 days, you will see X financial improvement, right?
Yeah.
So,
But George, that's all couched in, you can't absolutely guarantee that or say it will happen, right? You could predict it, but you can't offer any kind of guarantee that it will happen, right?
well, that's up to you, right?
Well, it's up to
You
them.
can't, because they have to do, right? That's your limitation, is if they don't start executing. And this is why we don't focus on profit, right? If we focus on the impact on profit, that is completely out of your control. But if we have their historic performance and then suddenly they start working with you and their growth accelerates, points in your favor, right? If margin accelerates, if they do what the system suggests, margins will improve, right? Efficiency will improve. We have the data. I mean, so you can't guarantee it, but you're like, hey, here's what businesses like yours that do this work with people like me see.
Yeah. So Mike Desiato, I want to jump in and comment on something that you said, and this train that's going right now with you and George. I agree with you 100%. As a trained CPA, and I didn't play on the tax side like you did, Mike. I played on the business, I ran businesses rather than do the tax side. It is easier to do the technical work and understand what the outcome is. It's more straightforward. It's not easy to do the work. That's technical work. That's why people get paid a lot of money to be technicians, right? Because we know some things that other people don't know, but it's easier to demonstrate the work at the end. The reason business owners need us, and I think we all know this, and the reason we will be successful in the end is if we can show them that we can help them through it, right? It's easier to be the person who builds a new piece of fitness equipment than it is to be the fitness trainer and get people to the gym and help them actually lose the weight. It's easier to sell the piece of fitness equipment that'll end up with their fitness gear hanging on it all day and dust accumulating, right? But it's easier to sell them that because everybody will buy the new piece of fitness equipment with the promise and then do nothing with it. The hard part is getting them into the gym and having them actually work out every week and do that and make the progress. But if we figure that out, the delivery is so much better than the one-time fix that we give them with the technical solution. And guys, I just can't, we as technicians, we have to get comfortable getting out of the promise of a specific thing that we used to be able to do and get into the hard work of rolling up our sleeves and getting into the muck with them and helping them get better. Right? That's the hard work that we've signed up for. And it's the hard work. And Mike, this is not directed at you in that you don't understand this. It's that we gotta understand that this is a different game than producing a tax solution for them that will have a very defined output. This is the hard work of getting in and slogging with them on the field, and getting them to a win for the game, right? And that's hard work.
Amen.
Yeah, but now it's a matter of, I think Mike Garrison's question was why, well, yeah, his challenge to us is why are we pricing it? Why are we asking for premium pricing for that? Why aren't we getting, much more for the work that we do?
I guarantee you that the fitness trainers for celebrities and other people are making a lot of bling. They're making a lot of money because they've figured out how to encourage those people and how to get them to do what they want to do. And again, I think the chargeability is there, but it's not as direct a line as it is when you can when you can say, I can guarantee this outcome. Right. So I agree with you, Mike. It's hard.
I think fee income also is attributable to your level of capacity. When you're at capacity, clients call you and like, dude, I can't get to you for the next 3 months. Here's my fee. Your fee goes up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. Tip.
Yeah,
and fire away.
I just offer, I'm just musing on this for a second, but I would say that a tax strategy, like a piece of exercise equipment, is a product.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a tool, it's a fixed thing that you can guarantee the performance of, provided the tax code doesn't change, but it's fixed in terms of the outcome that the owner is going to realize. Whereas for what I do, think about it as somebody buys a Peloton for some dream, right? The dream that they're gonna that they're gonna that they're gonna lose weight or get fit or whatever it is that they choose to do. And if that thing sits idle, the dream's there, but then it becomes I don't know, a tool that you flagellate yourself with about
Who here has owned a Nordic rack? Right?
that
They put us to hang your
Nordic rack,
dry
right.
cleaning. Yeah.
But for what I do, I view what I'm doing as more of a vehicle, more like the personal trainer piece. I'm more of a vehicle for the owner's dream than actually selling them the dream, so to speak. So it's like a fixed outcome that I think you can get with a tax strategy, versus what I'm doing. It's more dynamic. So one of the things that I struggle with is, yeah, I would love to. I do charge a premium fee because I'm confident about the upside I can bring to the client, but I can't guarantee it, and I'm not going to pay my client if they lose money. So I have a very difficult time asking for a share of the upside if I'm not going to give money back to my client if, they have a loss, right? So it's kind of one of those things that it's really where I struggle. That's where I struggle with this piece, or even like equity shared deals or whatever. So maybe that's a different topic, but
And yeah, and that is a separate topic that I'd be happy to talk about, Tip. But that's a that's a great point. That is a great point.
Well,
Can I jump back in a minute?
you may
Yeah.
want to think about. I know you can't share the downside, but you may want to offer your fee to be fully refundable if they don't get what they feel to be a good value of what you do.
Yeah,
So
Mike, your point's a really good one, and that would take some spine, because we all know clients can be like, yeah, not going to do it, right? They can change. It rarely happens, but
Right.
they have to have this is Andy Weevil speaking, right? The can do, will do attitude that is part of a qualified client. Now, Mike, to your point, if you gave them a money back guarantee, you're going to qualify the hell out of your clients, right? Mike, take it away.
No, I mean, that's really it. So
This is great.
yeah, no, this is this is our deal. Rick, go ahead, Rick.
Wait, but Mike, before you jump in, Rick's dying over here.
The problem I have is the whole premise that I'm coming into Growth-Drive is that I believe in it so much that if I embed myself with that client and I work with them and they do what we're suggesting, I've got to believe their income is going to go up. So maybe I don't charge this huge ROI up front like I can do with some tax strategies, but why not have some built-in percentage at the end? If you do this and we can prove that the reason your income went up was because of the strategies we implemented, and isn't that what we're doing?
So Rick, I love what you're saying, and it comes down to a couple things. Number one, the confidence of the individual growth driver in the sales process, right? Your confidence in being able to ask the right questions, make sure you get accurate data, and then make good decisions about what client you're going to go further with. So it's having I call it a gated process, right?
Right.
Having gates that the client has to go through to be able to qualify for different things. But then it comes down to it. I'll just sell you, like, I'll not sell you. If I'm talking, I'm selling, right? But I will share with you, and there's a lot of light flickering. So if the power goes out, I apologize. If I'm suddenly gone, it's not the cataclysm. But TM Dickinson, some of us here met TM a couple of years ago at the Growth-Drive Summit. TM Dickinson has a number of different ways that he works with people as a fractional chief sales officer. And one of his favorites is he comes in and he's like $10,000 a month for the first 3 months, period. That's, those first 3 months are he and the client figuring out if this is going to be a long-term engagement. He goes, at the end of 3 months, we're either going to make a decision that I walk away, or my fee gets lowered. My fee goes lower. It doesn't go away. My fee gets lowered, and I get a percentage every quarter. I get a percentage of the upside. We'll do a reset, and then I get a percentage of growth. He's been doing that for years. It's very successful.
Yeah.
The reason why is because TM is one of the best sales trainers in the world. He's really good at qualifying people, and he's really good at process. And so when you look at it, there's all kinds of different ways that you can spin this thing. But at the end, if you're looking at sustainable growth for us, right? Are we living C3D? Are we living the 3 dimensions of growth? Kind of like I started, George. Like, are we getting sustainable revenue? Like, if we're holding ourselves to these same standards, right? Predictable cash flow, net profit, predictable revenue growth, predictable transferable value. If we're holding ourselves to these standards, we've got to understand that the secret to that is being able to, as efficiently and effectively as possible, identify, get attention of, get meetings with, ask great questions, close business, onboard, deliver great clients. Like, that's everything we do. Nothing works if we're not doing this really well at the top of the funnel. Or survival is a result, not a strategy, right? Some of us have been doing this long enough that in spite of ourselves, we get new clients popping in our funnel and we make decent money. But some of the folks on this call, that's not what I want your experience to be. Like, I know a lot of you that came here. I know why you came. I'm partially responsible. I want you to make money now. I want you to be successful now. And the way to do that is to think about, to Rick's point, right? If I was you, Rick, with your expertise and what you do and your ability to directly get access to the data, right? Which is the critical part of this, because anytime you're going to do anything upside, you cannot just be a victim of the client saying, "Oh yeah, we did X." Like, you need to be able to look at the data and do it. You know, maybe people need to partner with like an Eric or a Rick or a Mike, you know, where you're bringing them in, doing a joint venture, having folks like that know the numbers at a real level. Like, there's some serious talent on this call. You know, I would be really thoughtful about how I approach upside sales on this if you don't have one of those folks in your corner.
Well, Mike, to your point, Mike, I mean, in exit planning, as you know, right, we believe, I guess, one of our major tenets is that this whole process is a collaborative process, and you need to work with a multitude of advisors for the client, around the client, right? The client needs a full team of experts that participate in this whole process to engineer a successful exit. So yeah, I've been, we all form partnerships, relationships, whatever you want to call it, referral systems, whatever. But no one has all the answers, and no one can do it alone. And so I've come to that conclusion. I've kind of given George's, and I guess metaphor or analogy. I look at myself as a general contractor in this environment, right? So yeah, I'll help you build a building, but I'm not doing the plumbing. I have subcontractors that I can come bring in. Or if you have people in house that can do it, that's fine. We'll help them do it. But oftentimes they don't. That's why they're not doing that well. So anyway, yeah, it's a collaborative process. It takes a team, and that's also a big hurdle to try to get all the team members to work together, because most of them, and it's been very, they do good work. I mean, but we all work in parallel, if you will. I'm doing this, someone's doing this, everyone's doing a great job in their lane, but no one understands what everyone else is doing. And so at the end of the day, when we all find out, oh, I didn't know your attorney did that, and then we have to rework a whole bunch of stuff. So I try to get owners to realize that all their key advisors need to be involved, at the outset. Now, the pushback I get from that, I hear it all the time, is, oh shit, then I'm going to have to, the clock's going to start running. My lawyer's going to start billing me. Here, the CPA's got to start billing me. And, I tell them, look, well, there's a cost to doing this correctly. It's not free. So if you want an integrated, well thought out, plan, there's going to be a cost associated with it, but the upside is, the ROI is tremendous.
All right, guys, I'll mute myself.
You just muted yourself. Oh, so that was on purpose?
Yeah, because the main line is busy ringing.
That was me calling you, George. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
I really
it'll
like
go away.
this.
Tim, are you going to comment on the Integrated Strategic Capacity Doctrine?
Later. I really like this conversation because I think, going back to Mike's original question, what's the fundamental difference between what the people that do tax savings or have a specific savings amount can do, and what we do is that we can't prove that your business is worth more until it is. Until it's
full.
We can't prove that you're profitable, you're more profitable until you are. We can't prove that your business is easier to run until it is. I think that, George, what you're talking about in varying or connecting QuickBooks and some of the other factors that we've got to where we can connect their improvements in strategic capacity to demonstrable, visible metrics helps to close that gap. It helps to reduce that risk. They're going from blind faith to incremental, kind of like what Mike's talking about, these gated improvements or critical path improvements. The examples you guys are using with the fitness industry is exactly, that was my jam for 35 years. And we did that. We flipped the industry on its head. We disrupted the model by actually making it our goal for people to become as healthy and fit as they want to be, to helping them achieve their goals. In some cases, we actually did offer guarantees. We offered money back guarantees, scared the shit out of the trainers, but people flocked to it. And when you're offering a guarantee, you tend to deliver at a higher level. In all the years we offered guarantees, we never had to give any back. So I think that there's value, it's real value in this conversation, because being able to some extent, the greatest possible extent, de-risk the commitment that these people are making to make their business more profitable, more valuable, and easier to run is going to help. To Eric's point about the trainers that are making a lot of money, the people that were making a lot of money in our business, we were charging in many cases twice as much or more as what other people were charging. Those trainers were demanding and getting that money because the people do that when they work with them, they can get results. So the more we can move this community toward, away from blind faith and toward commitment to measurable results, I think the better.
I love it. Like, the one thing I'll say, like, from a sales perspective, like sales theory perspective, guarantees go both ways, right? So guaranteeing results, from my perspective, means I'm charging you more, right? So if I'm going to guarantee it, I'm going to charge you more, and I'm going to require more control over implementation and execution, right? Because, for example, if I'm working with a 10 million a year revenue financial advisory firm, I'm going to charge them 10 to 20,000 a month to do what I do with ideal client acquisition and, Growth-Drive and whatnot. If I'm going to guarantee that after month 3, right, or whatever, I'm going to require certain access to financials. I'm require a certain amount of meeting time. I'm going to require a certain amount of, I'm going to have things that have to occur. And I think that plays into whether you're brand new in the community or you've been here since the beginning. Like Mike, I think, is the longest standing person on this call. I don't know. So like, but
Or
like,
Mike or Chad. Yeah.
yeah, I'll go with both of them. Chad, right? But like, here's the thing: is like, what would you require from a client to guarantee a $10,000 a month retainer or a $40,000 consulting fee? And when you're selling that, when you talk about the guarantee, not only is it de-risk from the client's perspective, okay, well, if this doesn't work out, I get it back, but it also de-risks your engagement with the client, because price should drive client success. Price should drive client success. That's how sales works.
100%. We had exactly the same thing, but we could guarantee that people would reduce their back pain. Like, what's more subjective than that? Like, they had to call a certain number of times a week. They had to do reps. They had to do their share, because we couldn't do the exercise for them, right? But as long as they did what they said they were going to do, then we would offer the guarantee. And we knew that if they did that they would get the results.
And I don't know how many of you are using the business flow scorecard with your clients?
A version.
the business flow scorecard, ladies and gentlemen, to Tim's point, we have the Monday track review. Are we on track? Are we ahead of track? Track review meeting. You have the agenda. It's part of our business operating system. In that meeting, we're going to focus on the business flow scorecard, right? Track review, business flow scorecard, and that will tell you very quickly if the client is doing the work, right? Doing the work. And if you look at the business flow scorecard, I won't get into it, but if you look at the business flow scorecard, you'll see, I mean, it tracks strategic execution. Very easy. Red, amber, green. And if they're not coming up greens, or your ambers aren't getting resolved to green, you know, or if they're blowing sunshine, right? It's like, listen, man, you're just fooling yourself. It's like carrying the golf ball up to the cup. So, I mean, take Mike, for example. He goes to the fish market, he buys fish, puts him in a creel, goes to the stream. But I won't get onto my soapbox, but Tim is making a very, very good point, because it gets back to can do, will do, and qualifying clients.
George, I would love to learn more about the QuickBooks integration. I think that can be a game changer.
I believe it will be. And Chad, to your point, strategic capacity we have to explain, right? Because it's a different way of measuring a business. Financial results, we don't have to explain a thing. So we're taking the revolutionary, and connecting it to the OG measure. But these measurements are history, right? So when we can take the revolutionary doctrine and say, okay, well, here's how we're changing the history, and here's how we're predicting, because we can already, you guys have used Simulator, you can already predict the impact of increasing strategic capacity, especially on the big number value. So, Chad, sorry, I'll stop drinking coffee.
No, brother. Hey, right here. I'm right here with you, man. I'm right here with you. Yeah, I mean, keep us posted on that. When do you?
The guys are working. The guys are coding it right now. So
very, very cool.
And it's part of giving you better data, right? Right now we have strategic capacity data, and we're bringing AI on board to liven things up. We are the Plod integration is about to be released. Plod and Zoom, so you can bring data from your meetings. Conversations are data, right? We're going to bring those conversations in. Imagine having those for your strategic planning, your execution tracking, your updates, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And imagine then the next logical step is to say, right now, we'll put our money where our mouth is. We're going to track your financial performance, which is going to go to, and I said to Kurt, imagine we may not have normalized EBITDA, but we do know what normalized EBITDA should look like within a range for a business by financial demographic, by industry, and ultimately by location. So it's coming, man. I'm working as hard as I can.
Oh, that'll be great.
You want it to go faster? Please. I don't make much. We are plowing a lot of money. We are investing a lot of money into technology development so that you know what, I made this promise to you guys. I want you to be able to serve twice as many clients without sacrificing your life, while also delivering better results. Twice as many clients, same amount of time, better results, demonstrable results. I'm working hard on making that all true. So, and you've seen, I mean, you guys see the system, you know, I can't keep up. There's something new. We keep innovating. So I'm so excited. I can't see straight. Okay. Simple question. Go ahead.
So George, when you talk to your tax person tonight, make sure that he talks to you or she talks to you about claiming the R&D tax credit.
100%.
All right, goodbye.
Yeah, thank you.
So how's everybody doing with business? Does anybody need help?
I need all the help I can get.
Okay, well, so do I. So do I, but mine's psychological.
This
right?
is a different issue, Mike.
Yeah.
No, the problem I'm having is I have clients that, you know, I've taken them through level 2, I deliver the report. They see it all. And now to get them to do something, like let's move it. Let's go to the next step, um, they seem to be too busy. That's the excuse idea, right? And that's why they're in trouble. That's why they're not where they want to be anyway. They're owner dependent, and they're running the business. They're working in and not on it. So they understand all that intellectually. They understand it. They see it. But now trying to move them to start taking the next step. It's it's a battle.
No, Michael, I have that same conversation quite often, and the conclusion I've come to is until it starts to hurt bad enough.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that so this would be interesting because I know Chad's got a lot of sales experience too. So I'd like to get your thought on this. But like you won't I see two different sales funnels in operation here, right? So we've got the immediate sales funnel. So congratulations, Mike, on taking them through 1 and 2, right? So that's good. But then you've got a different sales process, it seems like, where they've done 1 and 2, but maybe they're tired or they're overwhelmed and they're not ready to move on. I would move them over to a longer term sales funnel. To Chad's point, like, it's not no, it's not yet. They're just not ready. And so a lot of what I'm doing is I'm trying to have a lot of smaller engagements to fill the top of the funnel with people that are aware of the opportunity that's in front of them without mandating that I go insane trying to move a small group of people through a very linear sales funnel for me. I want to have 100 people in the top of a funnel that have done $1,000 level 1 a year from now. Like, so $100,000 level 1, I want 5 to 10 of those to be matriculating the ball down the field, Hank Strand. I want 5 to 10 of those per year that are ready to move forward. So that's how I look at it, Mike, is like, you did a great job, but they're not ready. Move them back to the top of the funnel, tell them that it's okay. And then this is why you have to keep prospecting consistently.
Right. No, I agree. But one of the things I try to do with them, if they're not ready to do a full strategic, plan, if you will, go to the next step and do a strategic plan and then go to implementation, especially if they're solely owned companies. I ask them a very simple question, and sometimes I get them to go for this, and that is, if you can't go to work tomorrow, what happens to your company? Right. And so now we're moving, we're not doing a big, strategic plan. This is really more, wow. Okay. Yeah. So I tell them, look, if you can't go to work tomorrow, have you thought about what's going to happen to your company? And
Dude,
then they'll say,
I think
oh, I haven't
that's
thought about that. Haven't thought about that. Okay, well, let's talk about putting something in place, a contingency plan, right? And I have a written plan I can work with you on. We could put it together. So it's something to do in the interim between them trying to get ready for the big stuff and now working on a real pain point if they don't have anything in writing, right? Especially if they're solely owned, right? Because solely owned.
Mike, I start with that. That question is the first question.
Right.
In my entire, before they ever become a client, that's the first question.
Right. But I go back to, I asked them that too, but then we go into clarity 1 and 2. But then if they're not ready, I'll go back to that and say, well, let's talk about what happens if you can't go to work tomorrow, either because of, God forbid, you die or you're permanently disabled, and then I get answers like, well, I got life insurance. I go, okay, well, that's fine. That's good that you have that, but you have this asset, right? And if you don't know how to take care of it and you don't have a plan for it, it's going to disappear. And I've seen it. I mean, the company will just go to hell. People will jump ship when you're gone, and the thing is going to go down the tubes. So let's put together a plan for that contingency, and life insurance could be a part of it, right? You may need it to pay people to stay on, stay bonuses, and you may need some kind of phantom equity structure so that if that happens, you may give them a piece of the sales price if they stick around and help you transit, all that good stuff.
Hey, Michael, really quick. I think my thought on that is you're jumping to the tactical side with them. I think on the least on the front end for me, I drill down hard on execution, because what separates good companies from great companies is their ability to execute
Yes.
So my conversations with the owner on the front end is who's responsible for your P&L? If you do not hit your numbers this year, who's responsible and accountable for that? And if their answer is, well, it's my team, or I guess it's me, you need to drill down on that because someone needs to be owning that seat. Because once you get that clarified for them, then you can really paint the urgency behind Clarity One saying, hey, here's your struggles. Now I can help you.
You know, Kurt, I love that. I agree with that 100%. You know, there's been engagements that I have declined because they're not willing on the front end to commit to the implementation phase, because we all know, right, for the most part, what's going to happen if we go through level 1, level 2, right? They're going to have these reports. We're going to have all this data. Well, guess what? I turned that over and we did not go to the next stage implementation. Guess what happens? It goes right there in the corner of the desk. So I agree, the implementation part of it, or the success of it, is crucial.
Yeah. I mean,
And there's been times where I've skipped level 2. I've gone from level 1 into level 2 as a retainer type engagement.
that's a yes, George, by the way.
That's a yes. Oh, I was saying yes to Chad. Yes to Kurt. You guys are making some fantastic points. And I see Tip nodding his head up and down. Heck yes. And Eric is yesing too. Heck yes. That's a great point. Hey guys, we have about 10 minutes left. I put in the chat what Mike was reacting to. Should we reserve 10 minutes for key takeaways? And I would love, selfishly, because it's all about me. No, we're good. Would you guys be willing to share your key takeaway from this another fabulous conversation from my perspective? Yes? Good. Mike Garrison, why don't you go ahead and toss it to someone?
I'll toss it to Betsy.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to do that.
Good morning, Betsy.
Good morning.
You were strangely quiet.
Oh, well, my key takeaway is I'm soaking it all in. So, this is such a great conversation, and being so new to the platform, and I just got my first look at it yesterday, on a call with George, that I'm just really trying to understand exactly what it is, how you guys are talking about it, the value to the clients, how I can learn and support and grow and all the things. So it's just a lot to take in, but it's awesome. And I've really, really loved this conversation.
Thank you, Betsy. Who are you going to toss it to, Betsy?
I'm going to toss it to Eric.
Great, thanks. Right back at you, Betsy. One thing I'd highly recommend, take a look at C3D. You want to understand and unlock the power of using it and understanding how to use it. Go through the C3D class. It's outstanding. I learned some things. I taught a couple of the classes, but I learned some things in the other classes that I wasn't using. So just thought. So there's another takeaway. My biggest takeaway is that honestly, refreshing. I'm not the only one who struggles with this question of what do I charge people, and like we're all in the same boat, right? Like we're all here, we're all experiencing the same thing. And Mike Desiato, as much as I was reacting to your comment, I struggle with the same thing, right? Like I want to be able to deliver something that's really defined, and I can say, hey, you should pay me this much because I'm going to give you this much. But what I've recognized is that if I lean into helping people with people problems, the value that comes out of that is tremendous. Like 5x what just doing a specific fix does. 5 to 10x what doing a specific. So that's my biggest takeaway. And I'm going to throw it to Tip, who's on my left side here.
All right, cool. So I've got two quick takeaways. Number one, Mike Garrison, good at qualifying, good at process. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely fantastic. By the way, if you haven't worked with Mike on your own process, you are missing out big time. And if you want a testimonial, set up a call with me, and I'm happy to walk you through the amazingness that
100%.
man has led us through. But the second thing is that I think sometimes as consultants we get enamored with tools, and that the tool's going to do it for us, and that when we get to the end of level 2 they're going to buy because they're going to see that big number and all that kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with the tools. It's all about the conversation, and the conversation, to
Yes.
Kurt's point as well, is going to center around people, who's getting it done and who's not getting it done. I had a session last week with a sales leader who had just hit their 25th quarter in a row of hitting their number. 25th quarter in a row. Think about what all that makes possible. So it really is about the people, and I'm going to toss it to Chad.
Yeah, thanks, Chip. I think for me, we're all in the same boat, right? We're all fighting that same fight for the most part. It sounds like to me, and I have to remind myself daily of this, is the more I can fact find earlier in the process, the better and the smoother, the more effective my close rate goes up. I sometimes I probably spend too much time on the front end fact finding. But I know that if I get enough information up front, I can take all that ammunition
Yes.
throughout the entire process.
Yes.
So that's kind of one of my takeaways.
Applaud, man. Heck to the yes. Thank you, Chad. Who are you going to toss to, man?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Who do we got here? Who do we got? Who we have left?
Rick, Kurt, Jemiah, and Tim.
Let's do Mr. Rick.
Thank you. I almost didn't join this meeting today because I'm still stuck in the grind of doing tax returns. And I the whole reason I joined was to get out of this grind. And I feel like this is the most important meeting I can attend each week. The ideas that come out of this meeting. I believe in growth drive. I'm trying to move my business more from, well, I am moving my business more from taxes to part-time CFO type work. And I think Growth Drive gives me everything I need to help these clients move forward. And initially, I'm trying to charge $2,000 to $3,000 a month for doing some of the CFO work. People have told me that's too small of a number.
It is.
Some of it depends on the size of the client, but the information that we can give these people, if we give them a baseline, we say we're going to implement it, and it is about helping them grow capacity, helping them improve their cash flow, showing them money in the bank. And we need to find the OKRs, the drivers that show the money is going into the bank. And if we can show them that, I believe they're going to want to continue to have us around at least a higher rate than the normal person. We have more to give.
I love that, Rick. Thank you so much.
Tim, Jemiah, or Mike Garrison or Mike Desiato, right?
Yeah, I'll go real quick. Very quickly, it's the thing that really resonated with me was this statement. It's all about execution, right? So the bottom line is, it really boils down to their commitment to the execution stage of the process. I'd like to get a read on that I think I should get them a read on that from the very beginning, and that will help me, because if they're not committed to doing it, executing it, all right, they may go through the process, but their commitment to execution is very critical here. And so George, who hasn't gone yet, you could pass it on for me. I delegate my.
Jemiah, Tim, and Mike Garrison.
Yep.
Man,
Tim, you're on mute, my man.
I'm sorry, I'll jump in here. I've got a 10:30 meeting I got to get to, but I agree 100% with Rick on the importance of these calls and the awareness. This was a terrific call. It just helped to clarify for me that what we're selling is a promise, and people will pay for a promise. Hope is worth a lot when you give that to people. That what you're working on, George, is going to help us to quantify the progress that they're making toward that promise, toward that hope, is only going to help. And I made some notes even while I was at stop signs here on how we can map this out for customers and show them how we're going to convert this promise into real progress for them. Super helpful. So thank you, Mike, for bringing up the topic, and thank you for everybody for your input during the call. Appreciate you.
Knock 'em dead, Tim. Thank you. Jemiah,
yes.
good morning.
Good morning. Oh, man, I was 110% a student today. So much rich information. Going back to rich settlement, I hate when I have to miss this call every week or show up late just because of the level of conversation. I don't think I'm the youngest male on this call, but just hearing everyone give their comments and concerns kind of goes back to what Mike Garrison was saying was confidence. Everyone on this call is super experienced and experts and great at their particular skills, and just still hearing the settlements on how can I still deliver value even though I have this vast experience and knowledge and technical skills from decades of work, and still having that concern for the person and the business is astounding to hear. So one of my key takeaways was just the confidence and keeping it a people first business, and the execution part, the weeds, the delivery. I think everyone has that, and that is the least, I feel like should be the least of anyone worries. Is more so how can I connect with the people first and make sure that's always top priority, because everything else, listen to everybody on this call, I mean, everything else people can do in their sleep. So that was my biggest takeaway. Just, people first, people, people, and the value is already there.
Yeah, mine's simple. Eric said something that really hit me, and it was what Eric, when you're saying it's like we get.
Did it feel like a 2x4, Mike?
No. It was good. It was really good. It was when you were saying like it's like we fall in love with a tool or a product or something, and you were just. I'm just as bad as anyone, possibly worse. And just to hear somebody I trust and believe in just saying, "Hey, go all in on the people," was just really powerful this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend. Thanks.
Awesome, guys. Well, you have invested another
And
hour.
no one's made fun of George this entire time.
Hey, we have to have a week off. I'm an easy target.
Easy target. We don't.
I need to see a double beard.
Yeah, I this is coming off tomorrow morning. So.
No.
I was gonna say, that's sin approved.
You want a spade?
Is this,
Hanging from a turkey.
This is about as much facial hair as I'm able to grow. So
I'm looking up.
Hey, I have a quick key takeaway. We teased it out, but the Integrated Strategic Capacity Doctrine, right, where we're taking the CEO, the senior leadership team, the advisory team, software, data, and AI, and focusing it all on strategic capacity is as a concept is a game changer. And when we live it, in terms of, and Mike is going to help. Mike, I'm volunteering you, is going to help lead a work. We're going to have a roundtable about this in Nashville that I will record. I keep, applaud guys. Let's go, because we're going to change. Well, and we have another organization that doesn't just buy in, that is committed to seeing the Integrated Strategic Capacity Doctrine, the matrix, play out. And we're going to have some fun and do a tremendous amount of good. Thank you, each of you, for investing an hour in this call. Love it. To your point, it's my favorite call of the week.
See a bunch of you in less than 2 weeks. Hugs coming. Hugs coming.
Let's go. All right.
If you don't have an orange suitcase, you can't be my friend.
Yeah, right.
Hey, listen, guys, have a great week. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. Okay. Thank you. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.